Good morning, everybody. Saturday morning. Unusual for me to be on Saturday, but yesterday I got my second shot, and I was feeling a little funky. So today I'm feeling great. It wasn't bad. I was just tired, pretty much. It felt like I was in the man cave with Scott, and we were like having hitting each other in the arm. You know how kids do that? And they go, come on, give it your best shot. Boom. Oh, that didn't hurt. Yeah, well, this hurt a little bit. So, and by the way, I did get the best of Scott in my mind doing that. All right, who cares? So, I want to look at Rand Paul. Oh, what a... You guys can fill in the blank. That guy, let me keep that over a little bit. That guy's... Well, you guys can fill that in. Oh my God. He's a doctor. Did you know that? He's a doctor. So I am going to pull a couple of dark mirror cards on him. And also I am going to be using my Fountain Tarot deck. And let's just see where we're going with that. Rand Paul. What can you tell me a little bit about Rand Paul? Not too much, because I don't think I could stomach it. Rand Paul. What's going on with Rand Paul? Talk to me about Rand Paul. Okay. What's that one? Interesting. I don't think these cards are meant to be read upside down, but I'm gonna. So, this is the first card I got. Alone in the World. Rand Paul, Alone in the World. And it feels like to me that he is just, when I think about him, that he's lost touch with reality. He's lost touch with what his values were. And he's just kind of adrift right now. The second card that popped out was the child I was meant to be. This goes back to Alone in the World, but this card is upside down. So the child that he was meant to be is no longer there. He is alone in the world. He's adrift. So sorry. And I really mean that. Because he's our senator, not our senator, but he is a senator. And he's got a big voice. And bad hair. Big voice and bad hair do not go together. I mean, look at Donald Trump. Another one. All right. That was pretty funny. No? All right, all I hear is crickets. Crickets. So, Rand Paul. Let's just pull a spread on Rand Paul and see where this is going. Why is he... He's a doctor. Why is he picking a fight with Fauci over masks? It's like... to me, that was just so stupid. Okay, Rand Paul. But then again, Rand Paul. Well, let's just pull this down, and then you can see what I'm looking at too, because that was pretty. First card I pulled, the World card. The first card I pulled in the dark mirror, alone in the world. Sometimes I love it when things come together. The lovers. So his world card is being crossed by the lovers. Who's he in love with? You know, certainly he's leaning towards that Donald Trump love. That's gross, isn't it? Wheel of Fortune at the base. Four of Wands, celebration. And I'm telling you guys again, telling you, and I'm telling me again, be ready, get prepared. We saw Iceland's got a volcano. Japan just had a 7-point earthquake. If none of you have been in a 7-point earthquake or above, it's scary. It'll scare the crap out of you. At the top, the Emperor, Lovers, Emperor, and the King of Cups. Whoa! Sorry. Okay, we all good? We still good? Yeah, okay. So, let's just look at the general picture of this. We have the world being crossed by the lovers, the Wheel of Fortune, Four of Wands, the Emperor, and the King of Cups. Okay, so the Emperor could be Donald Trump. It could be Russia. This is kind of what I'm thinking, right? It used to be the Emperor was Donald Trump. That was one of his cards. And if Rand Paul is alone in the world because of the lovers, that's why I'm going back to the Emperor card. His Wheel of Fortune is at the base of the deck. Things keep spinning, so he's up, he's down. It's just a constant cycle and it's a karmic cycle. In the past, he had the Four of Wands, which is a celebration. But in this deck, for me, they're playing on the beach, not looking at the ocean. And we just talked about Japan having a 7.0. They had a tsunami warning. They're not looking at the tsunami warnings. They're playing with lightsabers. And then in the near future, we have the Joe Biden card, King of Cups. And he's the calm. He's protecting us from the calm, the waters, the storm. He is struggling. He is struggling to maintain his sense of equilibrium, and he feels like he's underwater. Why does he feel like he's underwater? Alone in the world, Four Cups. He's alone. And he's looking at, this, to me, this card is crying over, lost opportunities. These decks, the cards aren't, the cups aren't spilled, but he's not looking at the full cup. Hopes and fears. Knight of Wands. This deck, when you look at this Knight of Wands, he's looking behind him. Something's coming up, and I think it's with this Two of Pentacles. And the final outcome, yikes. Somebody's going to be looking into Rand Paul. The government's going to be looking into what he's doing with this Lovers card. It may have something to do with money. And it's something about the shadowiness of what he's been doing. And he's got the Death card. So, the government looking into a box of whoop-ass about his shady dealings, and it's going to cause him to move on. This Wheel of Fortune, you know how I said it just keeps spinning and rolling and turning? It goes with this rebirth card. See how I said that? See, I was nice. I'm a nice guy. I didn't say death. I said rebirth. Yeah, so I see Rand Paul moving on. Let's see if we can get a little timeline on this. Because this government inquiry... Now, there wasn't any swords involved in it, so there wasn't any legal action. It was just somebody looking into his dealings, his past dealings in money. And so let's just look. Let's just look. Is Rand Paul going to finish his term? Is Rand Paul going to finish his term? Is Rand Paul going to finish his term? Ten of coins. The Lovers again. Five of Cups. Spilt milk. Doesn't really say whether he is going to be leaving, but he's going to be really sad. That's for sure. It's about money, and it's about his ties to get this money. That's making him sad. Let's just keep going. Again, with the Six of Cups, going back to a simpler time, this is another bubble card like the Lovers. He's got stuff in there in this bubble. Is he gonna leave? Queen of Wands. This is somebody that's bringing forth information. And it's the government again, opening up that box of light. Right? The Queen of Wands bringing out some information. I don't see him, I don't see him leaving, even though we did have the Chariot, the Death card up at the top of the last poll. But I see people looking into him and looking into his relationship with money. And I don't follow Rand Paul that much. So I just know that now he's become quite a loudmouth. I used to think he was a little more in the middle. And he had a voice of reason to a certain degree. I said to a certain degree, not completely. And now it's just, it just seems like he just sides with Trump all the time. And I'm for limited government, but it just seems that the Republicans are going now for manipulative government, not limited government. All right, let's see what else we can look at. Speaking of manipulation, HR1. HR1. I think I'm going to read on HR1 and see if that is, and the question is, that's the voting rights. It's for the People's Act. Where do they get these names? For the People's Act. So all the Democrats are for it. All the Republicans are not, because we're getting more and more Democrats individually wanting to vote, and they're trying to restrict it. So they're trying to make it a little more fair. The Republicans are saying, no, this is the state's job. Federal government shouldn't be involved. So let's just see. The spread I want to do with this is I want to do, well, let's just do a general one to see if it's going to even go through, and then let's look to see if it's going to, how it's going to affect the Democrats and how it's going to affect the Republicans. So it's all about stealing, taking something. And to me, when I look at this card, it's this, you know, the Seven of Swords, thief and the knife. But with this, I felt like that hand was protecting these swords. It's interesting. Being crossed by suspension, the Hanged Man. And at the base of it is illusion, delusion. Well, certainly, as we look at this, right? So we have the thief and the knife stealing something that doesn't belong to him, or a protection. We have suspension, or taking a look at things from a different point of view. Certainly that's all true with this bill. We have what decision to make, the illusion, delusion. And and that's I feel is the Republicans throwing that out there again. We don't need this. Everything's good. Blah, 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 blah. Six of Coins. This is all about giving and receiving, but in this Six of Coins, it's all about how interconnected the money is. So this bill goes back to money. And this bill goes back to money. Loss. Five of Coins up at the top. And this is out in the cold. Devastating. Devastating. And in the potential near future, the moon. We have shadow information. It's a little unclear. Stormy waters. Two ghost wolves howling at the moon. And we have two pillars of strength here. And calm seas. So when I look at this card, I get that these turbulent seas are just in the present, and that will go into calmer seas as we move forward. But this bill is creating people being left, is trying to solve the problem of people being left out in the cold, not being able to vote, combating this tight money thing. Let's just keep going real quick. We have the Two of Pentacles, again, trying to juggle, trying to keep your head above water. A balance. Six of Cups, going back to simpler times. But there is this bubble situation again. Hopes and fears, Nine of Coins. This is a card that lets people know that they can attain anything. They have to listen to their inner voices. But this Nine of Coins, this woman knows how to manage her resources. Hopes and fears. And the final outcome is the Ace of Cups. Bringing a new emotional start. Oh, worry. Holding on to your knees. And the Fountain card. Wow. Wow. So let's just look at the bottom of this. 5 of Swords, yeah. Page of Swords, Page of Wands, and Judgment. So what I'm getting with this here is this bill is absolutely the right bill. It's scaring, let me lift it up. It's the right bill with this Ace of Cups, right? It's scaring the hell out of the Republicans. But it definitely is the right bill to keep people from feeling left in the cold. However, underlying everything is the winning at any cost, the 5 of Swords. The Page of Swords is a new truth coming out. It's a younger energy, so it's like we know what to do. We also have the Page of Wands, another new forward-looking, younger energy with new information coming out that is going to bring judgment. So this bill, I think, is the right bill from what the cards say, but it's such an uphill battle. I don't think the timing is right, and that's a shame. Okay. What else should we read on? Oh my gosh. I'm going to pull a couple of cards. You know, the rhetoric for the last 4 years has caused so much prejudice to come to the surface. Before it was tapped down a little bit, and with the last 4 years it's been brought up. It's like now a volcano in Iceland. How can we heal ourselves from these prejudices? And it's not an overnight thing, is it? So let's just throw 3 cards, see if one of them resonates with you. All right. Shamanic healing. How do we heal ourselves from these prejudicial thoughts that creep into our head? Wow. I have no idea. First card was forgiveness. Forgive them that are so stupid that they can't see your way, your point of view. That's probably not it. Joy. You know, I think it's to, and I'm just trying to figure out how joy fits in letting go of the prejudice that creeps in. And it's just to find the happiness that we all as a human species strive for. You know, our homes. We want to have joy in our homes. We want to have joy in our neighborhoods. We want to have joy in our families, you know, our work environment. And then omens. How do we stop the prejudice from, you know, creeping in when we see something that is... What does omens mean? I'm going to use the dark mirror to try to clarify. Oh, you know what? And I'm going to use my white sage. Because this is throwing me a little bit. You know, that's more of a Sunday with Spirit type thing. Talk to me about omens and what to look for. Well, it's all about new starts. It's all about going back to a simpler time. And I think finding values that resonate with us. And that goes back to the center card of joy, finding those core values that we can agree on. And the Eight of Swords, which to me says, you know, you have these swords pitted against each other, and then you have these two that are being connected with the blue ribbon. It's almost like you have to stop butting heads and just find some commonality of it. I'll go with that. And I'll also go with forgiveness. Alrighty, thank you all for watching. I kept it under 30 unless I want to yak a little bit more about peace and love. Bye.